Hello Life Groups, I want to send a very short and hopefully punchy message that will just help you in having your discussion around who are you becoming as a life group, and what does it mean to fit into being your family, your community, your life group, part of the larger family, part of the Common Ground Bloberg story. And man, have we had a good start to the year. What an amazing journey we've had up till now. It's been only 4 weeks, 1 week when we filmed this, 1 week into our story at Elkanah, but man, it feels like God is with us. He's always been with us, but it feels like a fresh sense of His grace and His favor on us as a church, and I'm just reveling in that and encouraging us to all just celebrate that. Massive thank you. Anyone who I'm seeing who was so key to helping in all the different ways to make this happen, just a huge thank you. Well done. I feel like we are already embodying the vision of who we're becoming just by the way we're loving each other and serving towards this vision. For me, the elders, huge thank you for making this such a fantastic season for our church. I want to talk a bit for just a little while around who are you as a life group becoming. We spoke on Sunday and for the last while around these dynamics of who we're becoming as a church. The kind of people who are understanding God's presence better, learning to live in His presence as a primary priority of what it means to be a follower of Jesus. We're talking about formation, that actually we are able to change, that what it means to follow Jesus is not to just stay the same and pitch up at church and get to life group because there's some nice friends and it's functionally good. No, God, because of His presence with us, because of us following and practicing the ways of Jesus, we're reading Scripture, we're reflecting on His Word, we're prayerful people, we're learning what it means to be silent and spend time in solitude, to be generous, to say no to temptation. We're learning what it means to be like Jesus and to follow Him, and that's what it means to be formed into the image of Jesus, to have hearts that are beginning to love like He loved and serve like He served. And then we spoke about community. That's kind of what binds all these other things together. Community is where we practice all of these. We practice learning how to be in the presence of God. We ask each other, how do we be formed into the image of Jesus? We can't be formed into the image of Jesus if we don't have people to love and to learn with. The Christian church, our church, is a place where we learn to practice all of this stuff, and it's where we practice the final one of mission. Mission is where we learn to do those 3 M's of the message of Jesus, getting out into the world because Jesus took the message. Mercy, Jesus was filled with mercy. He brought compassion and justice to a very broken world. And then the miracles of Jesus. We trust that from time to time, in His wonderful grace, Jesus just breaks a hole in the ceiling and brings in something totally fresh that's against the norm, and that He would use sometimes us to pray for healing, to bring about a radical change. Hey, to change our hearts, we require a miracle. That's what it means to do that. And really what I'm asking for us tonight to do is to discuss as a life group, what is it going to look like for us as a group, for you as a group, to begin to do this. And to start the discussion, I want to suggest that as you look ahead at 2020, you have 3 words in mind: expectations, commitments, and vision. Expectations, commitments, and vision. And it's probably good to start with vision. Who are you becoming as a group? What are you hoping that at the end of 2020 will be true of your group? Maybe some of these questions could be helpful. What will be the marks of us as individuals before Jesus? I.e., what sort of transformation is happening in the lives of us as a group? Who are some of the people that we would be hoping would be in this group that aren't yet in this group? Imagine the kinds of people you're hoping are growing and feeling included in this group. Hey, what might we have done together to deepen our sense of community, our sense of being known and knowing each other? Do you know that that's a key mark of what it means to belong in a group? It's to feel like we are known and we know each other. We're going to send some resources to your life group leaders to encourage storytelling and sharing each other's lives. Because you know what's more profound about being in a sense of belonging is not about knowing everyone in the group, but that you and I personally feel known in a group. And I want that for you. Those are some of the keys of the questions we're going to ask about this vision. The second thing is expectations. What are some of the expectations that we have for the group? This is key. Anything healthy, where any relationship has clear expectations. The disappointment that we experience, whether it's in marriage or friendship, is when we have an expectation that's up here and a person delivers this, and that gap is called the disappointment gap between what we got and what we hoped for. And my encouragement is that you set clear expectations. So expectations could be things like, what are we hoping to experience and how are we going to plan this? So that's a bit about vision. How will we meet? What will our rhythms be like? Hey, most of you, if you've got a fair amount of time on your hands, you don't have kids that are super young, hey, most groups we suggest meet every week. But maybe you've got young kids and you're going, we'd like to meet before bedtime. You start meeting from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock. Kids play in one room and have a good time, and the adults meet somewhere else. Some groups, you like to change your rhythm. You do guys one night, ladies the next, and then on the third week, everyone's together, and you prioritize that one where you let the kids play and you mix it all together. Some of us are the kids are out of house, or we don't have kids yet, and those groups are making things work. The point is when you've got clear expectations, you've got something to commit to. What are some of the expectations around how you will meet? How are we going to share our lives? What will we push each other towards? What is out of bounds? What are we allowed to encourage each other towards? Hey, where can we or can't we speak into each other's lives? These are key things about what it means to be a real group with real integrity and clear expectations. And then finally, commitment. I know this is an awkward one. In our generation, we want freedom from any commitments, but without commitment, you don't get freedom in relationship. That's why you put a ring on the finger of another person and you say, we're committed to each other. It brings such freedom to your ability to love and to be loved. The same is true in a life group, and I would encourage you to give some thought to how are you going to commit? How are you going to commit to being together? How are you going to communicate when you can't be there? Hey, little tip, my suggestion when it comes to not pitching up at life group is not sending a group message late on a Wednesday afternoon, sorry guys, won't be there, or not even sorry, just we won't make it. Man, that's a morale drainer for the rest of the group. We suggest you always send a message to the life group leader and use the polite way of going, hey, here's the reason, here's why we can't be there. We know it's so valuable, but because our child is super sick, because of X, Y, and Z, we won't be there. Hey, what are some of the commitments you're making? What's a reasonable expectation? How many times in a term would be normal to miss, after which we should actually be giving you a call and saying, where are you guys? We miss you and we need you. Stuff like that creates a place where we can actually feel belonging and care, where we can feel like we're getting known and we can know each other. And most importantly, or equally importantly, we can gather momentum as friends. And we really want that for our life groups, that we can begin to really enjoy the presence of God, really grow in mission, really become more formed into the image of Jesus. This all takes a community of people who know where they're headed and what they're hoping for. I hope this is helpful. I hope tonight you have some fantastic conversation. Your group leaders have a group guide that's going to go through some of these three words: vision, expectations, and commitments. Have a great discussion. Can't wait to hear how things go.